Good morning, 8th graders. Today we are going to be learning about urban green space. We'll be discussing some of the benefits for both humans and the environment. We're going to be discussing some of the limitations of it, and we're going to be discussing how it relates to the cultural mandate, which is found in Genesis when God tells us that us as humans are supposed to take care of the whole world and everything in it. So we're going to start with talking about some of the benefits of urban green space. And some of the benefits for humans include improved mental and physical health, longer lifespan, reduced stress levels, and an increase in physical activity. All of these are really good things that improve the quality of life for people and are things that as Christians we should be really pushing for in our communities. Some other benefits are energy savings, especially with green roofs, which is plants and grasses on top of buildings. Those can really help insulate the buildings, and so we don't need to spend as much heating and cooling the buildings. And another one that improves the quality of life is reduced noise pollution and better air quality in the cities that green spaces are in. There are also a lot of benefits for the environment. One of the biggest ones is an increase in biodiversity, which is when plants and animals of many, many different species live in the same area. And this is really good for ecosystems and for the environment in general. Another one is climate mitigation, which means that it reduces the effects of climate change that we are learning about in science right now. You guys know about climate change. And so urban green space can help reduce the effects of that. Also reduced soil erosion and improved rainfall because of the way that just the grasses and the plants and the other green space can help protect the soil and collect the rainwater and everything. And one more environmental benefit is reduced urban heat island effect, which means that in the cities, the air temperature can be about 3 to 4 degrees Celsius warmer than the surrounding countryside, which is a lot warmer. And so having green space in the cities can help reduce that effect and lower the air temperature in the cities to make it more like the surrounding countryside. But there are some limitations of green space, just like there are limitations to everything. And some of these include that it tends to be inaccessible for people with disabilities. One of the awesome things about urban green space is the way that it builds community and allows for a space where people can just come together and be together. But when it's not accessible for people with disabilities, that's really sad because they can't be a part of that community. So we need to work on making sure that these spaces are accessible for everybody. And that goes along with this point, which is green gentrification, which means that as a green space is created in an area, the housing prices increase in that area, which makes the green spaces inaccessible for poor people, just like they were inaccessible for people with disabilities. So this is another thing that city leaders especially need to be really conscious of when they are creating green space in a city. A limitation for the environment is what's called an ecological trap, which means that species in an area settle for an environment that might not supply for all of their needs, which means that they don't live a very good life. So we just need to make sure that there is a lot of biodiversity that we discussed earlier. And another one is just the maintenance and upkeep of it. That can be just a lot of work and a lot of money, but it can be worth it. Now, you may be asking, how does this all relate to the cultural mandate, which remember is when God told us that we are the caretakers of the earth, right? And it relates to our calling because our calling is to care for the earth, like it says in Genesis and other places in the Bible. And urban green space helps us do this by benefiting the environment, benefiting the economy, improving human quality of life, and protecting the earth from further damage, which are all things that us as Christians really need to push for and promote in our communities. And urban green space is a way to do that. Now, your assignment. This is fun. You're going to write a letter to the mayor advocating for the use of green space in our city. The letter should include human benefits, environmental benefits, what forms of green space you think would work well in our city, and why green space is worth the investment. You can use what we learned today to do this, And the letter should be about 1 to 2 pages long, and that is your homework for tonight.